How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk this boxing today, man. Wow, man, it's been a lot going on in the been a lot going on in boxing. You got Triple G and Canelo just took place. You got the ongoing um, deal with Crawford versus Spence. Um, you got Deontay Wilder possibly going back up to get the WBC belt. And get in line to fight that. Him fighting Robert Hellenius, which some would say we'll talk about that later. But you know, and then you got Tank versus Ryan possibly going down. You got Joshua versus Tyson Fury. It's just a lot going on in boxing right now, man. And then you had it just some of the notable quotes that I've heard this week. Some of the notable interviews I heard one of with Freddie Roach where he talked about Inoue and how Inoue was sparring different guys, 20 guys at the at Freddie Roach's gym, Wild Card Boxing Gym. And he went through 20 guys and he was just like, he's definitely, gonna be the next big superstar, Asian superstar to cross over in America. Freddie Roach feels like he's gonna be the next one. And he said he said he hasn't seen anybody since Manny Pacquiao to be that good. So that's a key. That's a really big shout out from Freddie Roach, man. I mean, was arguably, his trainer through his whole career. And a Hall of Fame trainer, Freddie Roach, for him to say that Inoue is going to be, this next big superstar. Not only that, and saying he's, got the skills, and he hasn't seen skills like that from an Asian fighter since Manny Pacquiao. So, I want to say, salute to him and to what he's got going on. But yeah, man, let's get the show started. Wow, man, let's talk about this Canelo versus Triple G fight. This fight definitely went down. It was one of those fights where, let's be honest, man, it was a pretty good fight. It was a pretty good fight. Both guys, were there to get hit. And it was all about whichever who wants it more. That's how I feel. It was like who wants it more. And let's be honest, truth be told, Canelo Alvarez wanted it more. Canelo Alvarez definitely wanted it more. He was the more aggressive fighter from the beginning bell. And let's be honest, man. Right now, Canelo Alvarez is, the top guy at 168 pounds. Not only that, he's the top guy, one of the top guys in boxing. Let's just get that out the way right now. You know what I mean? And Triple G is one of them type of guys that are, he's been at 160. So he hasn't fought at 168, I don't believe. He might have fought once or twice at 168. But as far as I can remember, none of his title fights were at 168. All of them were at 160. And that's where you feel comfortable at, I feel. But we seen that Canelo wanted this fight to be at 168 because he has all the belts and he's a champion at 168. But so is Golovkin. Golovkin would have been is still a champion at 160 now. So both of these guys link up. From the beginning fight, man, I just seen that Triple G, he had a lot. He had a lot going on. I feel like, mentally into this fight and it showed. I feel like Triple G was tentative on some of his punches. Triple G is one of these type of guys that I feel like, he's gonna be physically in shape to go to 12 rounds. But it's like, dude, do you want to go to 12 rounds and just compete, or do you want to go to 12 rounds and actually try to win this fight? And I just think that from round one, Canelo Alvarez set a precedent that Triple G just couldn't obtain. He couldn't he couldn't get to that pinnacle. And I feel like Canelo was putting the pressure on Triple G the whole night, man. The whole night, man. And you know, Triple G just, you know, I feel like he was just fighting just to survive at times. You know, as crazy as it sounds, you guys, I feel like he was just fighting at times just to be you know, just to survive. And that's not the way you want to fight, man. That's not the way you want to, you know, go into this boxing world because you know, you'll eventually get, you know, taken out like that. So I know people I know the guys at 160, the Charlo brothers and stuff like that. You know, after this Triple G performance and after this fight, they're probably looking like, wow, man, you know, this could possibly be dog food, you know. Just look at what's going on. You know, Triple G is, you know, at that point in his life where he still wants to continue boxing, but you know, the whole Canelo saga is over now. You know, he got another, 30 mil, I want to say. He got about another 30 mil. Armando, what's going on, my brother? He says, Corey, my bad, bro. Oh, yeah, man, you good, man. How's everything going? I hope all is well over there. To Armando and everybody watching, man. But yeah, man, Canelo Alvarez, man, right now, man, I feel like he's got it. He's got the star power still. He got $45 million for this fight. This was a pretty big fight. You know, any way you checked, it was a pretty big fight. It did a lot of pay-per-view buys, I believe. And as soon as the numbers come out, I'm definitely gonna let you guys know. But yeah, man, Triple G and the undercard was okay. You know, Bam Bam. He was in a pretty tough fight, and I feel like both guys were going at it, but I feel like Bam Bam won, and you know he took it to the guy, you know, he really did. He took it to him, and I like what I seen out of Bam Bam. You know, he's gonna move on to bigger and better things. You know, some say he wasn't even trying to fight in this fight. He felt like the turnaround was too fast. But he did it anyways, you know, and you know, I'm gonna be honest, man, if there's an opportunity to fight on Canelo Alvarez's undercard, you might want to take it. You know, you might want to take it. And I think that's what Bam Bam did. You know, he did get the win. A lot of people say he didn't look too good in that win. But you know, like I said, right now, you know, he's at a point in his career where he's not, you know, too well known where people, you know, actually, you know, are going in on that type of stuff. You know, he's just building his career right now. And I feel like it's getting even better and better and better. And he went to get that money. Armando says Canelo won the first 8 rounds and Triple G won the last 4 rounds. He says, when you finally started letting his hands go and really pumping his jab. Yeah. You know, I had it. Some say they had it 118 and 110. I mean, you know, some wild stuff. So, I mean, some say that. I mean, listen, man. You know, long as you had Canelo winning, I feel like that was good enough. But you know, other than that, man, you know, I think Canelo Alvarez did enough to win. He, you know, he was like you know, Armando said, he was landing that jab very well. He had different points in the fight. I feel like he was just bringing it to Triple G, and Triple G wasn't bringing it back. You know, Triple G was, you know, throwing combinations, but you know, he was tentative. You know, it wasn't the power Golovkin where he was going to go through Canelo like a freight train. I think he literally tried to outbox Canelo Alvarez, and it did not work. It backfired. You know, it backfired big time, man. And Triple G is going to go back down to 160. I believe 2 of the judges. Let me read the scorecards out, you guys. Let me pull up the box. Let me pull up the scorecards. Because, I mean, to be honest with you guys, man, 2 of the judges had it pretty damn close, bro. Like, it was so close where it could have been a draw if Triple G would have won the last round. That's how close one of the judges had it, I believe. You know, let me see what we got here. Smash that like button, man. Armando is in the chat. I'm ready to get back with you. Hold on. I just want to pull this up real quick. Okay. So, in Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, okay, the referee was Russell Moore, and the judges were Dave Moretti. He had a 116 to 112. David Sutherland, 115 to 113 for Canelo. Steve Weisfeld, 115 to 113 for Canelo. So, I mean, these scorecards were pretty close, you guys. You know, these scorecards were very, very close. And, I mean, to be honest with you guys, man, if you guys really thought Triple G did that well, why aren't any of the fans saying that? A lot of the fans are saying, at best, they had it 116 to 112. And that was giving some of Triple G the swing rounds. You know, Armando in the chat says, I'm doing all good, Corey. How you doing, bro? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm hanging in there, bro. You know, life is what you make it, man. And you got to keep grinding, man, until you get it. Yeah. Armando, quote of the day. Armando, but also Canelo kind of got gassed in the championship rounds. That played a factor, too. His counter were not on point. Yeah. Canelo Alvarez, I feel like he was throwing shots, you know, and Triple G was throwing shots back, but I feel like Triple G was being a little bit more tentative. Like he had his hands back more than he normally does. Like I feel like he's normally, you know, whisking shots, whisking uppercuts. You know, he caught Canelo a couple times. I'm not going to lie. He's caught Canelo a couple times. But they were far few in between. They were far few in between. And, you know, at this level, you got to show the judges, you know, that you want those belts. Mind you, Triple G was not the champion at this division, okay? And some of these judges have judged the Canelo and Triple G fight before, okay? And some of these judges have done that before. So you guys got to understand they have already seen Triple G and Canelo fight, okay? And they've already scored the fights. Okay, so the judges are looking at, you know, things that, you know, can dominate a round and things that can, you know, take over a round. And judging, I mean, the judging for this fight was okay at best. You know what I'm saying? It was okay. You know, that's actually giving them some credit, man. You know, to be honest with you, they don't really deserve too much credit. 115, 113, I didn't have it that close. I had Canelo winning by at least 4 to 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So Armando says anywhere from 8-4 to 9-3 is fair. Triple G heated up the last 4 rounds and gave Triple G the last 4 rounds. But you can give Canelo round 10 because that round was extremely close. Yeah, Armando says 2 judges had it 115 to 113. Armando says, I think the judges gave Triple G round 2, which was close, and the last 4 rounds, but I gave the first 8 rounds to Canelo. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could score it either way. At the end of the day, they did get it right. So Canelo moves on and Triple G moves on. What I think Triple G should do next is go back down to 160 pounds, which I think he's going to do. He's going to continue his career. But what I think he's going to do now is he's going to go over there and fight PBC fighters. I think he's going to sign an Al Heyman. I think he's going to sign an Al Heyman deal. You know, maybe a 2-3 fight deal. I think he'll fight all of the guys over there at PBC. I think he'll fight, you know, Jamal Charlo, that's at 160, because one of the Charlo brothers is at 154, but they're identical twins. So, and they're both champions simultaneously, and they're twins. That's crazy. And they both hold the green WBC belt. Okay, so Jamal Charlo is the twin that's at 160 pounds, and that might be a formidable fight for Triple G. I think that fight bodes well for Triple G. I think Triple G can still hang with the best of them. Canelo's just different. You can't put every fighter at Triple G's level. At Canelo's level. You cannot put every fighter at Canelo's level because every fighter does not have the dimensions and the smarts of a Canelo Alvarez. He went back to the drawing board. The dude was like a bull in that fight, man, against Triple G. I really liked the way he was, going back and forth, beaving and weaving and bobbing, in and out of, some of Triple G's close, thunderous punches that we know have knocked out the likes of Curtis Stevenson and David Lemieux. Which I thought that David Lemieux fight was going to be a little bit closer, but the jab destroyed Lemieux. Shout out to my cousin Amp, man. He seen that joint, man, and that was a wild fight, boy. But yeah. So with that being said, Triple G goes back down to 160, fights Charlo, Benavidez, Caleb Plant. Some of those guys. I feel like possibly Caleb Plant. I know Caleb Plant's at 168. But Triple G just fought at 168, so we'll see. But Canelo holds all the belts at 160, and he just beat Plant and Triple G. So I definitely think he's gonna go to PBC though, and we'll see. Triple G, we've all seen him hit the road. He hit the road in the Mariota fight. He went all the way to Japan, beat Murata in his hometown. With his hometown fans, and the Japanese fans were showed out, man. They bought the pay-per-view. They watched his fight live. They showed up to support him. And Murata got, destroyed in the later end of that fight, man. He got destroyed in front of his hometown crowd, and it was demoralizing. So Triple G got that. And, so I know he'll hit the road. And he can win on the road, and so we'll see. As far as Canelo goes, I think Canelo Alvarez will take at least 6 months to a year off, and I think he'll eventually go back and fight Demetrius Bivol, his arch nemesis, a guy that beat him respectfully in a lot of areas. He was beating him to the punch. He was, like I said again, bobbing and weaving. He was getting out of there. He was like Nazir Richardson, the late Hall of Fame trainer, says. He was trying to swim without getting wet. Yeah. That's a slick one for you guys, man. When you guys rewatch this, you're going to be like, okay, Corey, okay. He was trying to swim, without getting wet. That means you're mixing it up and you're trading with a bona fide puncher, but you're not getting punched, You're swimming without getting wet. That's pretty much what they mean by that. Armando in the chat says Triple G said he wants to fight in Mexico, Germany, and Australia. Then he'll probably retire. They can probably make a super fight with Triple G and Jamel Charlo. If Mel moves up, he'll be his automatic mandatory. Or he could just fight Jamal Charlo, which already has the WBC belt, and it's his twin brother at 160. Armando says, yeah, same. I thought a Prime Lemieux, who was champ at the time, was going to be fireworks with Triple G. Me too. He said, I was dead wrong. Triple G beat the shit out of him. It was the jab, though. The jab did that a lot. The jab dictated that fight. And it was all she wrote after the jab, man. The jab pretty much, sealed his fate. So, yeah, so Canelo was going to move, probably stay. I think Canelo might fight one more time and then fight Demetrius Bivol. I don't think he's going to go right into the Demetrius Bivol fight. He could, but I don't think he's going to go straight into the Demetrius Bivol fight. I think he'll wait and maybe one fight, maybe two fights, and then he'll go in there in the Demetrius Bivol fight. But I think you got to give him time, man. Canelo Alvarez just went on a crazy run where he's fought like, 4 or 5 times in 2 years, which a lot of fighters nowadays only fight one time in 2 years, a la Keith Thurman, so it's just like, Canelo's been very active, you know what I'm saying? Very active. And that man's 30, he's in his 30s now. He's got a family, he's got, beautiful daughter, a wife. He probably wants to, respectfully enjoy some of those millions. Wouldn't you? So I just feel like right now, man, it's at a time where Canelo Alvarez can probably reassess what he wants to do, his career. He's not going to switch trainers. All of that's going to stay the same. He's going to probably, hold camp in San Diego, which he's been doing. And he's gonna probably, come to bring it. If anything, they always say you're only as good as your last fight. Well, in Canelo Alvarez's last fight, he dominated Triple G. Okay, which Triple G can beat a lot of champions that fight between 154, 160, 168. And in 3 divisions, Triple G could probably beat a couple of those champions. I feel like him and Jermell Charlo would be a close fight. Triple G versus Jermell Charlo and Jamal Charlo. But yeah, Canelo's gonna either fight Demetrius Bivol in a couple fights, and that'll be that. And yeah, so moving forward, next topic. Wilder's comeback, you guys. Wilder's comeback. Okay. Let me go to the UGC in the chat. What's up, man? What's going on, UGC, man? How's everything going today, man? How you doing today, my brother? He says Armando Haney got a great jab as well. It's just got no power. He says just not a power jab. Yeah. Haney's got to more solidify that jab. You know what I mean? Work on that jab a little bit more. But he's a good fighter. You know what I mean? And who's to say he won't get power later in his career? He's only 23 or 24. Devin Haney's one of the younger guys in the division. He's a lot younger. He's about 4 or 5 years younger than Tank, I think. I think Tank's like 27. Devin Haney's like 22, 23. So if that, it's like, we'll see. But the upside is very high for a guy like Devin Haney with his father in his corner by his side. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up. But yeah, man, Deontay Wilder is coming back to fight Robert Helenius in about less than a month, about 3 weeks away now. Deontay Wilder has been definitely in the news, saying that, Tank Davis is going to beat Ryan. He doesn't know how serious Ryan is and all of that. And, people were talking about that. And, look, man, Deontay Wilder is the former champion. Some people saying that Wilder might fight Usyk next. They've been talking a lot about that. Eddie Hearn delivers daring Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder verdict. Okay, and what Eddie Hearn is saying is he thinks that he could possibly he says he pretty much what Eddie Hearn is saying is he said that Usyk versus Wilder, he said the rounds wouldn't even be competitive. Okay, so he's pretty much saying like, look, the rounds wouldn't even be that competitive, to be honest with you. He says Eddie Hearn believes that Usyk won't lose a round to Deontay Wilder if the pair square off in the ring. With an undisputed fight against Tyson Fury seemingly off the table, Usyk has revealed that he would like to face the Bronze Bomber next. Woo! So Usyk is actively calling out the former WBC champion of the world, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. So this guy's calling out the Bronze Bomber, man. Wow, man. What do you guys think about that, man? Do you guys think Usyk versus Wilder would be competitive? Or do you guys think that Usyk will pretty much dominate all of the rounds? Usyk's jab is definitely a hell of a lot better than Wilder's. Wilder does still have that right hand. So, that right hand is a very, very dangerous punch. It's a very, very dangerous punch. And, a lot of people need to be aware that Wilder can knock you out with one punch. All it takes is one punch on the chin, and Wilder can definitely knock you out, no problem. But yeah, man, Toby in the chat says, salute Corey Lee in the chat. No doubt, bro. Armando says, wait, before I forget, I know Canelo wants to fight Bivol again, but why is no one on here mentioning David Benavidez? David is the WBC interim champion, automatic mandatory. He needs to get him out of the way first. Yeah, that's a really good point right there, man. That's a really good point. David Benavidez versus Canelo would be fireworks, but does Canelo really want that fight? All signs are pointing that Canelo doesn't really want that fight, to be honest with you. Yeah, man. Shout out to UGC in the chat. He says, Benavidez is getting heavily avoided out here. Yeah. He really is, though, UGC, man. He really is, because right now you guys got to understand, Benavidez, and I heard Charlo saying this before too, Benavidez is almost like a weight bully. He's he's bullying guys that come up in the weight, you know what I mean? And if you're coming up from 160 to 168, I mean, I'm not gonna say you don't have no chance on beating Benavidez, but the dude is not the Cookie Monster, but I mean, he gets a little big out of training camp from what I'm hearing. It'd be nothing for David Benavidez to be, over 200 pounds on the off season. They say the guy rehydrates from 168 to 190 sometimes. That's a 22-pound rehydration. Yeah. David Benavidez is a big boy. Pause. You guys got to understand, man. It's different with that. But back to Wilder, man. I think Wilder's definitely awesome for the sport. Love to see him back. Love to see what he can do for the sport of boxing. Love to see what he can do with the heavyweight division. But it's going to be a dogfight. If he's in there with, either Usyk next or Ruiz. I think Ruiz is a lot easier opponent, but neither one is easy. Ruiz still wants to get to that level. Ruiz versus Usyk would be a pretty good. I mean, I still think that Usyk would dominate, Ruiz, but Ruiz has that one punch, or those two punches, his right or his left, but, mainly his right. But, him or Wilder, Wilder with his right hand, these heavyweights pack a big punch, man, and Usyk's more the smaller end of heavyweights. Now, he is, in my eyes, the best heavyweight in the entire world of boxing. I've been saying that for 4 years now. Go check my videos out. But I've just been saying, man, that, Usyk is a little bit undersized when it comes to, guys like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But we've seen him beat Anthony Joshua, which a lot of you guys at home that are listening right now didn't think he could do. But he did it. So I think Usyk versus Wilder would be fireworks. Usyk versus Ruiz would be awesome. But yeah, man, I definitely want to see Usyk get in there with Wilder. That'll be awesome. That'll be a dream fight to me. That'll be a fight that I would go to. If that fight ever were to get made, Usyk versus Wilder, I would go to that fight 100 times. 100 times over 100 times. If that fight was just, let's just say we got greeted with that fight being in Alabama. Or, we say that fight would be held in, it wouldn't be in Alabama because it's for all the belts and shit. So that shit would have to be at Vegas. But, man, I would go. I would go, bro. I would go, man, without a doubt. Armando in the chat says, I'm just disappointed by Fury. I know AJ versus Fury is still a super fight, but how you going to give a guy coming off 2 losses another crack at a title? Makes no sense. We want it undisputed. Yeah, man, but it's hard to get that now, man. Undisputed is going to be even harder and harder. I feel like the more we go, the more shit that we have to deal with. Armando says, then again, AJ was always Fury's dream due to the star power and money of that fight. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Toby says the Mexican monster in my Mike Tyson voice. The Mexican monster. No, I'm just joking. I don't know, but I feel like Mike Tyson be having wild. The way he talks is crazy. Armando says, but it's one David Benavidez to activate his mandatory status because you need to submit something and activate it as far as I know. Once he does that, Canelo has no choice but to fight him. Politics is behind that too, man. Armando, some shit might be going on behind the scenes where he doesn't want to submit that shit yet. I'm not saying David's scared, but I'm just saying, maybe they have another fight in the works. Maybe you just don't know. You just don't know. David's saying all of the right things, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, that's right. Behind the scenes, where all of the big talk happens and we don't really know about it. And Mike Coventry doesn't get into the news until after it's been said and done, but we don't know what's happening leading up into that, so we'll see. Toby says, I knew Usyk could beat, hold up, who said? I knew Usyk could beat AJ. I just didn't want it to happen. Laughed my ass off. Because you were talking about Joshua was going to win. Toby, you were saying Joshua was going to win. I remember you, dude. You were saying Joshua was going to win. You was one of them guys. You was one of them guys, man. Armando says if they make Wilder versus Usyk and Fury versus AJ, Ruiz fitting to be crying in the corner. It's crazy, bro. But yo, man, I don't want to leave, man, but I gotta go to work, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wish I could have talked about the Crawford versus Spence. But that fight isn't 100% done yet. They're still finding. Getting everything fined out with a fine-tooth comb, and then they'll let you guys know on that, okay? But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. I think Triple G can make big waves at 160. I would love to see Usyk versus Wilder. Joshua versus Tyson Fury could possibly be getting done for December 3rd. And yeah, man, I want to see the rest of these guys fight each other, man. This is Corey Lee Boxing, and you've definitely been hit with another banger. Peace out, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.